Hi everyone, I'm Novena from Novena's Notebooks. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I know I never post anything, but that feels obligatory to say when you open a YouTube video. So today I am going to go over my traveler's notebook for my Iceland trip. I recently just went to Iceland with one of my really good friends, Janessa. Yes, this is my my craft room. It's terrible. I've got a 2-year-old and this is in constant flux because I'm trying to turn it from a craft room and do a craft/play room. But yeah, I work full time remotely, so my kid is here with me. They are not in daycare. I'm a single mom. It's just me here all day, every day, trying to work 40 hours a week, trying to take care of my child 100% of the time, and still trying to have like my own hobbies and crafts and things. So I was gonna try and turn this around and have like a nicer background, but it's life. This is life. This is where I'm at right now. But even with this, because I could be cleaning right now, but I decided to do this instead. This is my traveler's notebook for Iceland. So this is not my prep before the trip, but this is like my prep before I actually like print out all the pictures and put everything in there. So kind of the mid planning step. I just got back. This was September 13th to 24th. So my friend and I, we found a company called Van Life Iceland. And so they help you rent the vans. They pick the campsites for the week and you kind of go as a group of vans around the island. So it's, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. This was such a bucket list trip for me. I can kind of go over a little bit more what we did in like another video, maybe once this is finished and you see all the pictures and all the journaling of it. But I thought this would be a fun thing to do because sometimes I don't finish them. Some of the things take me like a year to finish, but this is something that I have done. I have prepped it, I have planned it. So I'm gonna go into a little bit longer video. I'll flip the camera and you all can see what I've got in here, my traveler's notebook, all my sticky notes and like little stickers that I've planned out, as well as like all of my ridiculous amount of ephemera that I collected while I was on this 10-day trip. So yeah, let's get into it. So this is the traveler's notebook I'm using. This is a standard wide. So I think that means it is 4¼ inches tall and 5 inches wide. So it's a little bit wider than the standard traveler's notebook, which would be like about here. So on the cover, I just have this background. I have a sticky note of what I want to have there, Iceland, and the date. And I think I'm going to use this little sticker because I think he's super cute, but I haven't decided where that's going to be placed and if I'm going to have a picture or, you know, maybe some other journaling cards there. So opening it up, I did start it off with this art print postcard that flips up. So I can do some journaling here. I can put pictures. I might put a pocket to add extra ephemera or just little trinkets and things. My opening page, this was already done on my prep before I went on the trip. And then I had all these sticky notes throughout. So just put a sticker with the travel dates. But I actually ended up liking this little cutout. This is from a magazine as well. Like the back of it has a map on it. So that's something I picked up while I was on the trip. But again, I don't know exactly everything else that I'm going to have on there. This is another map that I got while I was on the trip. So this will be covered. I'll put some lists on there, probably our itinerary, our main stops, things like that. It does fold out to have the full big map of Iceland. This is the specific map that it was. So all of these points are Saga and Heritage points of interest, but I'll probably cover that with a photo or a sticker or something. As you can see, I have not quite decided what I want to do on this page, but I've left it blank. So possibly like our hostel info, our flights, our van life contacts. It originally planned on having this be the itinerary, but I think because this is a fold out map, it makes sense to have it on here because we didn't go to these sites. So they don't necessarily need to be part of this notebook. So this might just be a free for all, a collage or something that I end up doing later. Here we get into, I call this day 0 because this is our travel day. But I've got a couple things. I think I was going to use this backpack sticker because we did use our backpacks. So I have our flights. We did have a layover. So from Seattle to Toronto and then Toronto to Keflavik, which is in Iceland. This is our bag tag stickers. We were lucky enough to get our bags checked for free, which was nice. And so these are things that I did prepping before the trip. So I had measured out this. I have day 0. I have the date, locations. You know, this is a Friday. And then down here, I did put miles. So this is miles flown, miles walked. Because in my, narrow-minded Americanness, I do everything in miles, not realizing that I'm going to Europe and everything is in kilometers. So the flight is still in miles, but everything else also says miles, and I'll just update that later. On the opposite side of the page, I do have this, so I put the wrong location there, so I just like covered it up with some cardstock, and I will restamp that. But I have the weather report as well as like a status update. So I wanted to do kind of 3 things that went well, the highlights of the trip, 3 things that went well, 3 things that didn't go so great, that type of thing. So this setup I did largely pull from Lail by Mail. She's a YouTuber, small business owner, been in the scrapbooking industry for many, many years. I like to join her Saturday listing classes. So this is a class that she has too about setting up a traveler's notebook for a trip. So that's kind of what that setup, that idea is coming from. So next I have this page planned out for inside the van. And I thought maybe this little sticker, life is good. So that'll be kind of a scrapbooking page. Day 1, on the 14th, we went to Thingvellir National Park. So I do have the brochure from there. I don't think I'll use it. I did cut this part out of it. And I like the, the use of circles. So that might go in here somewhere. But I still have it. I don't know if I'll use the trail map or maybe I'll just use this front part of it. So that might go in there somewhere. So Skogafoss, so this is our campsite. So this is kind of what these little stamps are. Oops. Oh, that's probably going to go inside the van. Right there. So these little stamps here, this is, I don't have like a van stamp exactly. So this is a little, kind of like a camper bus type deal. So this will be miles or kilometers that we drove that day, the kilometers that we walked or hiked. This one up here is our campsite. So Skogafoss was where we stayed. And then, of course, the little location, the geotag there, and weather report. I don't remember where I got all my stamps. If I knew, I would tell you, but I'm terrible at that. I don't label them, and I don't know. Sorry about that. So day 2, we went to School Beans. So I got a postcard there. So I might write a little bit. So this is what I kind of do with my stickies. I write like basically the things we did. We started at Skogafoss, which is where our previous campsite was. I'm going to be terrible with all these names, but Kvernefoss, Reynisfjara, that was the Black Sand Beach. Then we went to the Yoda Cave and then School Beans. And then we ended up at Thakgil for camping. So I've got this little sticker of coffee, so it might go here or just in here. And again, I have my like 3 things to not forget about that day. Then I have another kind of blank page. So this is just another full page. Got a couple stickers with some wintry Iceland vibes, because I take a lot of pictures. Oops. Next, we've got day 3. So this is Skaftafell was our campsite where we ended up for the day. But during this day, we stopped and saw what I call a mommy baby waterfall, a canyon, and then our big thing was our glacier hike on Vatnajökull Glacier. So I have this sticker, which I did not get in Iceland. I got this the day after. We went to a little bookstore and they happened to have it, but it was just so perfect. So I got that, and that'll go here since we climbed the mountain on this day. This is just like a temporary insert. So my plan is to put in this bag, which was a bag I got on the trip. So I cut off the end of it, which is what this is. So once I've done and I put everything in, I am going to take the staples out. I'm going to rebind it. I'm going to probably sew it. And so this is just a reminder that this bag is going to go here on this part, and you'll see the second part. So it'll have kind of this clear part, which is I think where I'm going to put this sticker. And then I can put a little pocket of ephemera or whatever might go in there. So that's what this is a reminder for. Then the next day, day 4, I've got this beautiful postcard. Since this is what I got here, this is at the Glacier Lagoon. So the things that we were doing this day, Glacier Lagoon, Diamond Beach. We went to the Hoffel hot tubs. We were supposed to go kayaking. That's crossed out. So again, these sticky notes were put in before the trip. So there were a few things that I knew we were going to do or we had planned on doing. But this ended up being canceled due to the wind, which is totally fine. We just spent longer time at the hot tub, which I absolutely love. And then we went to Hafid Bar, so those will be some pictures, maybe journaling, etc. Then this one I put for game night, so this is just kind of around the campsite. I brought a lot of games. I honestly thought we were going to have a lot more downtime to like play games. I brought like 10 different games, like little card games and things like that. We ended up playing Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza the whole time, and it was great. That was like the first game we played and pretty much the only one. Janessa and I did play a couple games inside our van, a couple of like rainy nights, just the two of us. So put up a couple pictures of those in there. I also, before we went, so you can see the website here, bingocardsfree.com, I entered in a lot of like fun little things for us. So I made some bingo cards for us just to cross off things that we do during the day, like things that are kind of typical Janessa things and typical me things that we do, as well as kind of some of the sites, like the Northern Lights is on there. So I put our bingo cards in here. We don't really have many campfires, but you know, it works for it. Day 5, I have a lot of little pieces here. So this was a big day. So we started off at Sudafoss. We ended up not staying there because it was too rainy and windy. Roadside Foss, we just found a random waterfall on the roadside, so we stopped and took some pictures there. And then the big one was Litland Foss and Hangi Foss. And then this is the night that we saw the Northern Lights too. So I kind of just got some sticky notes. This was a notepad that I had bought in Iceland too. So I've got plenty of these sticky notes. There might be more that I use throughout the traveler's notebook, but I thought this would be a good place. Actually, sorry, they're not sticky notes. They're just regular notepad, but I can stick them in there. So I have this girl because like by the end of this hike, I was in a tank top and it was just so hot, even in Iceland, like you wouldn't expect it. And then I have this girl who's kind of covered up. So that was more Janessa. It was cold the whole time. And I've got this sticker of "You Can Do It" because this was one of our bigger hikes that we did have to take multiple breaks during. So just kind of like, you can do it. And then some hiking stickers that might go in there as well. So that's that page and those plans. And then day 6, I've got this postcard. This is actually a free postcard from the Husavik Whale Museum. So you can see that kind of on the back there. We didn't end up going to the museum, but we did go to the gift shop. We just, timing wise, I had a lot of things I wanted to do and there's just not enough time to do them all in. But this day we went to, we started with an Arctic plunge. So that was a lot of fun. So definitely going to have that in here. We went to Dedifoss. We went to Studlagill with Canyon was the first one, Dedifoss, then the heavier, the bubbling mud flats. And then the Gore, oh my gosh, I can't say this cave. This cave, the Game of Thrones cave, the Jon Snow sex cave is kind of what it's famous for. So all of that happened on this day. So that was a lot. So I might end up having another postcard in here just to make it like a waterfall, just to add as many photos because we did see a lot of different sites on this day. The other thing I have for Studlagill is I bought this chocolate. And so this is actually the canyon that we went to. So this is kind of a fun photo and piece of ephemera, but it is a little bit thicker because it had a chocolate bar in there. So I don't know if that'll fit out there if I end up using it, but that's something that I might put in on this page too. And then I had another blank page. And again, I had pre-planned this out. So this is the Northern Lights. So even though we didn't see the Northern Lights this night, we saw them like the night before. I didn't know when that was going to happen on the trip. I just wanted to plan a specific page, a double page spread for all the beautiful pictures of the Northern Lights. So I may or may not use this postcard, which is why I did not tape it in. Even though washi tape is removable, I just was like, maybe I'll do that. Maybe it'll just be my own pictures. This right here is another candy wrapper, but this we got at the Perlin Museum. So at the museum, they do have a Northern Lights show, and after you watch the show, they actually give you this chocolate, and this QR code is so that you can scan this and then you can watch that show again. So it's a whole show about the Northern Lights, kind of some of the history, some of the cultural pieces of it throughout the world, what different people, different cultures believed that the Northern Lights were. So I thought that would be really cool to include here on my Northern Lights page. Next page, day 7. So we did a lot on this day as well. So we started off at a Secret Falls. This was a not so hot spring, but it was a natural one. So I really liked going. I had a great time there. Janessa was really cold and I'm happy she went in with me because it was fun. And, you know, hashtag do it for the plot, right? We went to Godafoss, which is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. So I do want to have like a larger picture of that one there. And then the most of the time we spent going around Akureyri, which is a cute little town. And in there we found this little yarn shop that had these stickers. There was a t-shirt there that I really liked, but I didn't get it because I just don't really wear a lot of t-shirts. If they had that in like a tote bag, I would have bought it. So it was the same kind of girl, the Valkyrie. This is the Knitting Society. The other one said the Crochet Society, which I like a little bit more because I do crochet. I know I got another sticker somewhere here that has the Crocheting Society, but I just liked this photo. So we got that there. And I also did get some yarn. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in my pile of ephemera. But I bought one skein of yarn while I was there. So authentic Icelandic wool, and it's spun and dyed all in Iceland. So instead of buying little crocheted whales and keychain things, I was gonna make one for my son. So that's kind of fun. So those are kind of the plans here. And I was playing with the idea of like cutting a piece of yarn and just having it like as like a bookmark type thing in here. I may or may not do that. It does add a lot of bulk, so who knows. The last thing we did was we did have pizza night with the van lifers. So that was something that was organized by the guides. So I'll put a few pictures of that in there. There were Northern Lights this night too, but my friend and I didn't see them because it was our last night. We had a long, early day the next day, so we went to sleep, unfortunately. But this is just another one. And I had put campgrounds on here, but I think that I already am going to have enough of that on the game night, just like our campground stuff. We didn't do too much with the group. There's a couple of people that we did hang out with and we made friends with, but there's not a whole lot of pictures of that to put in. So I think what I'm going to do here is put a couple of lists. So, and I've already like written these in my dirty notebook. So things that I'm glad I brought and things that I like didn't need, things that I brought that were unnecessary. And then just, oops, couple more stickers that I thought might work with that. So like reading and stuff. This is from a little sampler pack of alcohol because we were drinking in the campsites. So we wanted to try some like Icelandic liquors and alcohol. So that's from there. So those are kind of the things planned for this page. And then we did stay another day and a half in Reykjavik. We had to turn our van in by 1 p.m. So after that, we had already booked a spot at the Blue Lagoon. So that's pretty much all we did this day. We just drove and then went to the Blue Lagoon, and that was about it. So this is the other side of that bag. So I'm not quite sure what will go in there because there's not a whole lot that we did that day, but there will be a pocket here. So I might just add some stuff. A couple little stickers, rainbows and whales. We saw rainbows everywhere. We didn't see any whales, but they got a lot of whales in Iceland, so I might still add that in, even though we didn't personally see any. This one is just like an extra page. So what I thought I would put was like a Reykjavik map or a postcard, because again, that was my pre-planning. So having a page here. I didn't get a specific postcard from Reykjavik. So what I'm going to do here is Neil and Paw Paw. So that's my my son, Neil. He's 2 years old. And my mom, he calls her Paw Paw, which is maternal grandmother in Cantonese. So she stayed with my baby. So I thought this would be a page of like we talked every day on, you know, video call and everything. This is a postcard that I sent to him because I thought he would like that. It's a Viking, but he's really into monsters, and just 100% when I got home and we got this postcard, he was like, monster ice cream. So this was the perfect one for him. I wrote a little bit about our trip, and it's got the stamps. This was something my mom did that I did not ask her to do, but you can kind of see where my listing and my memory keeping comes from, because my mom wrote down everything. So, you know, she dropped us off at the airport. He cried until Highway 5, and then he sang and played. So, you know, 8 chicken and cheese sandwiches with grapes and milk. So she's writing down his meals, what he's doing, how long he slept. So she has this for every day, and just like the little things that they were doing. Obviously, Neil, my baby, added to the list. So I thought that would be really cute to include this in here and have a little page about their adventures while we were gone. And then we have our last day in Reykjavik. So this was our like full day in Reykjavik. And so I've got a couple things. We started with Baka Baka. So this was a really cute, such a good bakery. And I loved this bag. So this is, I took an extra bag, but this is the bag that your little pastries and things come from. It's too big to fit in here, like even like folding it down, which kind of takes away from the aesthetic of it. So what I did is I found a very similar stamp set that I have, or the font that's very similar. So I just stamped it out. I didn't do a great job because I kept getting the edge of it. I did practice it first and then I cut it out thinking I would glue that in, but I didn't like it with not the stripes, the vertical lines and the dots. So I decided to stamp it again, and it's got some ghosting of my stamping block, which is totally fine. It really honestly doesn't bother me that much. I'll put photos there. I might put more washi tape, anything like that. But this is a great way that if your ephemera is too big, I know a lot of people will take a picture of it and then print out that picture and add it in. Or some people even will scan it into their computer and then print out like a smaller version of it. I know a lot of people do that with airline tickets. But I was like, you know what? I've got a million alpha stamps. Let me just find one that matches. And so I went ahead and added it in that way. The other thing that we did is, I'm going to go out of order here, but that's fine. We went to the Punk Museum, which was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. So I have these two little girl stickers, and they kind of looked like they had the punky outfits with the just like ripped jeans and stuff. So I might add those in somewhere. We also got the famous hot dog stand. We went to the one that Bill Clinton ordered his hot dog from. We went to the Perlin Museum, the Rainbow Road, which is why I've got these rainbow washi tape in here too. So kind of a whole day in Reykjavik. We did a lot of other stuff. We did, so we actually started off with a walking tour. They do a free walking tour, which is something that my friend knows about just from her travels. I never heard of that, but apparently a lot of major cities will do that. They just have like a free, free walking tour. It was a 2-hour tour. We got a lot of history. We learned a lot of fun facts about Iceland and about Reykjavik. So that was really cool. It was a great way to start our day. And then we kind of got our bearings around the city and decided where to go after that. Day 10, this is another travel day, so I've got our tickets again. And then just a couple other things, because we didn't do much. We just stayed there literally at the airport all day in Canada. We had an 8-hour layover, and then it was delayed by another hour, so that was not fun, but it gave us a lot of time to do journaling, to do some other things, so that was really cool. But we don't have a lot of pictures because nothing was happening that day. So these are extra stamps from postcards that I sent. I didn't use these stamps. And then I thought maybe I'll use this sticker that I got in Iceland. Maybe, maybe not. I did like this stamp that I put in here, where to next, just because, like, you know, this trip is over, but like, where are we going? So after the travel day, oh, I did add a day 11. So again, my mom was staying here with my baby, and then Janessa had stayed another day too. They both live in California, so they were on the same flight out the next day, which was Tuesday. So I thought, you know, this is still part of my vacation, even though I'm not in Iceland anymore. It's still kind of part of the trip, goes along with it. So just kind of what we did, like our little homecoming, because we got in, it was like 11 o'clock at night. So, you know, lots of hugs for baby, but then he went right back to bed. So this is kind of our day together. So what we did, which we didn't do too much. We, Janessa slept in till like, I don't even know, till like noon. I woke up at like 4 in the morning because I don't know. I was still in Iceland time, I guess. But yeah, she was just like, I'm catching up on sleep. And so we just let her sleep. But we did go out to a nice big breakfast all together. And then we went to that bookstore that I talked about earlier where I got that sticker. So that'll just be kind of this day, or maybe it'll be a few more of the Neil and Paw Paw adventures here if they don't all fit on that earlier page. So lastly, this was a postcard. This was one of those like panoramic longer postcards that I cut down just to have the Northern Lights, and I made it into a pocket. So here I'm going to have like a few things like gas mileage, you know, money spent, receipts, etc. So this was a notepad that I did find while we were in Iceland. And it's just like a regular notepad. We got this at Pennon Edmondson's. It's kind of a stationery store. I thought it was like a cutesy stationery store, but it's more like an Office Max type of thing, and a bookstore. So the bookstore is the main part, but they did have a couple of little things. So I got this, which is basically, yeah, it's just an accounts notepad. But I was like, yeah, perfect, great. So I did put in kind of what we spent here. So this was on transportation, what we spent on food, on souvenirs, and then activities, and then like other stuff, like one of the bathrooms we had to pay for and stuff. So I have all of those in here. And then I might make another little list, which I think I'm going to do like by the numbers. So I think what I was planning was like number of waterfalls we saw, number of like gas stops, etc. So that's going to be another one of my creative lists that I'm going to add into this traveler's notebook. Along with like this page, I just put, yeah, books, souvenirs, etc. So maybe all the books that we read or bought. This is a place that we bought a lot of the art and souvenirs. Just another fun postcard. This is a ring that I bought. It's actually this ring. So the tree of life. So this kind of talks about that a little bit. And any like additional pictures or maybe another list. And then one more page. So this was something that I saw from, oh my gosh, like I said, I'm terrible with names, but it was somebody on YouTube. I was, looking up travel journals, trying to plan mine out and everything. And what she said was she adds like a Dear Iceland letter. This would be for Iceland. So, kind of like, Dear Iceland, thank you for all the incredible things, that type of thing. Or it could be like a 50-year-old letter. So like writing a letter to myself in 50 years, or as a 50-year-old, I'm turning 40 this year. So like it would be like a letter to myself in 10 years. But that's kind of fun. Like, am I glad, I went on this adventure? Obviously the answer is going to be yes. But other things that I might hope to accomplish in the next 10 years or in the next 50 years, if it's like a 50-year-old letter, but that type of thing, it might be fun to add that in a little pocket and just to come back and have something to read as I'm looking through this. And then one more final page here. So who knows what's going to go there? Probably just more pictures, honestly. This is another page that I cut out of a magazine. You can kind of see some stuff on the back of it. So I glued in 2 sides to make it a pocket. And then added some more. So this was me the whole week. All the pictures, all the selfies. I kept making my friend retake pictures because I'm obsessed with it. And I was like, no, it needs to be from this angle. Okay, if you stand here and you hold it this way. So this is 100%. How do I look? Like, yes, I'm here for the waterfalls and the fun and the adventure. But, pics or it didn't happen, right? So I might write a little bit about all of that on the back. This was the postcard that I sent to myself, so I had a couple of the little sites. So you can see that it's canceled, and I had the stamp on there. And then this is the other sticker that I got, so the Valkyrie Crochet Club. So a couple other little pieces of fun ephemera that are in there. And then on the back, these are some more stickers and things that I got. So these are some of the drinks that we had. So we got a larger bottle of vodka, and we got those little sampler bottles. I have more of those as well. This is from that punk museum that we went to, which was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. And it's just like a small little museum, but it was amazing. And the guy was a lot of fun there too. And this is a place that we ate. This is actually a temporary tattoo, but you can, I used a baby wipe to like put it on there to not get it too wet. So 2 Guys, that was a burger place that we went to. So yeah, that is my plans for this traveler's notebook. I also just have like a ton of other ephemera. So maps and things. Oh, these are really cool stickers that I got. So these are a lot of the tourist spots. And we went to almost all of these. So I might incorporate those. They are puffy stickers, so they'll add a little bulk, but I think it'll be okay. This sticker, I was just specifically going to use this sheep because we saw sheep everywhere. And then these are some stickers that I had that I might use. Lots of rainbows that we saw. Lots of like being comfy in bed in the van. This is kind of a travel one. So I've got those things. I've got more stuff, some stamps that I might use for the travel days, icons. This is another travel one. These are postcards that I didn't use. So those might come in here. Extra bingo cards. So these are things that I cut out of all the magazines. So a little bit about you know, the southwest, the south. So since we did go around the whole island, I thought that would be cool to have kind of a little bit about each area in there. Another bag that I got, Taste of Iceland. So this was like a souvenir. These salts, I did get some of those as gifts for people. But yeah, so you can see a lot of things that I've cut out that I think that I might use. Even if I don't use the photo, I might use the little blurb about the Northern Lights and put that into the scrapbook. But yeah, so I don't like to take the whole thing home. So this was something that I did the night before we left. I went through all of the ephemera that I bought, and then I kind of tore out the pages of things where I think that I might use them. Oh my gosh, I got this stamp or this sticker, which is perfect, except it's huge. It's way, way, way too big. But it has the van. It has like two girls like cuddled in a blanket. It has the mountains, the Northern Lights. It is perfect. This would have been the front cover if it wasn't a giant car decal. But that's okay. You know, sometimes you buy things, they don't work out. And I was like, oh, I could wrap it around, but that takes away from the fun of it. Yeah, so those are some of all of the many, many, many things that I may or may not include in this traveler's notebook.